Just because you know that money is not going to make you happy doesn't mean you can't make as much money as you want. If you ask most people, what is it the one thing that they wish to have more of? They'll tell you money in the bank. Because most people think that having more money is going to make them happy. But as a spiritual being, hopefully you're starting to understand at this point of your life that there is no amount of money that's actually going to fulfill you. Well, that's only half true. Studies show that there is a certain amount of money that everyone needs to have, but then after a certain point, more money isn't going to fulfill us. The reason for that is because no matter how much money you have, it's an external thing. It doesn't actually change who you are internally. All your mental or emotional problems are still going to be there. You're going to have relationship issues. They're not going to be solved by money. If you have health issues, you're still going to need to deal with it, and there's not enough money in the world to help you deal with those things. Those are internal things you're going to have to deal with. I've seen some research papers that show that anything above $75,000 a year won't make much of a difference. I've also heard about $100,000 a year. Doesn't matter the figure so much. The point is going above that isn't going to fulfill you anymore. And so what I want to offer you today is how to make as much money as you want in a spiritual way. And I know those two things can seem contradictory. If you're a spiritual person, you don't need money. You can be happy without money. Or why would you want to make as much money as you can if you're a spiritual person? Well, here's the thing. Those two things aren't necessarily dependent on each other. You can be a spiritual person and filthy rich as well. The difference is in how they view everything. The difference is in your perception. Perception is everything. If you know ahead of time that more money won't bring you happiness and fulfillment, you won't look at having money as something sacred. You're going to be treating it like another thing that you're doing in the world. You wake up in the morning, you provide value, and as a result, you make money from that. But here's the thing, before we even get to how you can make as much money as you want, the first principle that you should adopt is you want to make the minimum amount of money that you need. So before you can make as much money as you want, you need to make the most minimum amount of money that you need. And what is that amount? Well, it depends on your needs. I'm not here to tell somebody that, hey, you only need to make $50,000 a year to be happy, or you need to make $150,000 and then you'll be happy and that's your minimum. No, maybe for you it's $300,000, maybe it's $1 million a year. Just pick a number and know that that's the minimum you need in order to be happy. And when I say you want to pick a minimum number, what I mean is something that takes care of your needs. It's the amount of money that will take your worries away. So when you wake up in the morning, you're not thinking about like, oh, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. You have a nice place to live. You can buy the food that you need. You can support your family. You can even go out and enjoy yourself to a certain degree, but it's like the minimum of money that you need. First, want to get there, because if you don't get there first, you're not going to be able to make as much money as you want anyway. I'll get to that a bit later. Okay, so that's the first step. Let's say you figured out the minimum amount of money that you need to live on. Get to that point, and then after that, you can go above it, but you already know that going above your minimum is just a bonus. It's not really necessary. It's like a fun game for you. So I myself, as I am quite spiritual, I would say, but I'm also ambitious. And I have 2 online businesses and I want them to succeed. I want them to make money. But I no longer look at that amount of money as something that's going to make me happy. I've already reached the minimum amount of money that I need to be fulfilled. So now if I go above that, I know that it's just a nice to have. It's a game that I'm playing. You can play this game in business. You can play it in real estate investment, in stock portfolio investment. It doesn't matter how you go about it, but you are no longer looking at that extra money as the thing that will solve all your problems. And that is really why I'm referring to this as the spiritual way of making more money, because it's not something that you think is going to make much of a difference. It becomes much more of a game. The thing about going about it in this way is you will end up making way more money than the person that's just trying to make money as a means to an end. Why? Because this corresponds to the law of vibration. You're going to be in the right frequency, you'll be vibrating at the right level of awareness to make as much money as you want, because all your needs are already taken care of. You are not going to be operating from a place of lack. You're going to be operating from a place of abundance. So think about it. If you want to get anything, you already need to basically have it. That's the law of vibration. You need to vibrate on the level of whatever it is that you want to have. So if you want to have more money, in a way, you already have to feel like you already have it. Now, you may not have $1 million, but you have the minimum of money that you know is going to fulfill you. And that's basically the same thing. So if you have the minimum, you're not worried about money anymore. So right now, you're getting into the right frequency of abundance to attract even more money to you. See how that works? By the way, if you're resonating with this idea, leave me a like and comment below. Let me know what you think. Most people chase money. So they're constantly trying to, rearrange their entire life and sacrifice everything in order to make more money. And that's why they keep chasing it away. Whatever you chase runs away from you. But in this case, because you're already going to be internally fulfilled with the minimum amount of money, now you're going to be attracting money to you. Next thing I want to talk about is that you do have to realize that making a lot of money comes with a lot of problems inherently. A lot of people don't talk about this, but some of the richest people in the world are the most miserable ones. And, many people look at these rich people and they think, oh, I want to have their lifestyle, not realizing what their actual lifestyle looks like. These people spend so much time under fluorescent lights in small little rooms, meeting with people they don't like, dealing with politics they don't enjoy. So it's not that glamorous. And so whenever you're thinking to yourself, you need more money or you need to become this super rich person, realize that that's not everything, and that you're much more likely to be happy with less than you think. Another principle is that whatever money it is you're going to be making, make sure it fits your entire lifestyle. So what's the point of becoming a slave to making more money? Let's say you really enjoy traveling, but now you need to stay in one place in order for you to make that $1 million, but you're not actually able to enjoy that $1 million. And what's the point of that? That's another way you want to start thinking about this, is that if you're not able to do the things you actually enjoy, why have that money in the first place? Lastly, I want to mention that money is just a form of energy. And so if you want to make more money, you just need to make sure that you're providing an equal exchange for it. And how do you do that? By providing massive value. There's no accidents in this universe. If you want more money, you're going to need to provide some value for it. And so if you're just thinking about making as much money as possible and using these strategies or these quick techniques, it's not going to work out for you in the long run. But if you're providing real value, solving real problems for people, they'll want to pay you as much as you deserve. And so don't focus on making as much money as possible. Instead, focus on providing as much value as possible, and then the money will follow. So this brings me to the end of this video. I would love to hear your comments and thoughts below in the comment section. Let me know if you resonate with this message, or if you don't. I'd love to hear it. Also like it, share it with a friend, and subscribe to this YouTube channel to hear my thoughts on other stuff.